What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Grace makes a promise to daughter Paris and deletes Liam's medical records. Grace Buckingham made a phone promise to her daughter Paris Buckingham and deleted Liam Spencer's medical records, as shown in the Bold and the Beautiful. John Finnegan checked on Liam at the Spencer mansion and advised him of the possibility of surgical complications. Finn was suspicious because Grace had not informed Liam of the physical therapy he would require. Naturally, when Bill Spencer admitted that he had paid $1 million for the procedure, Finn's suspicions grew even more. Reese Buckingham, Grace's ex-husband, was mentioned as someone who took Beth Spencer because of gambling debts. Throughout the entirety of the conversation, Finn could clearly see the wheels turning. Grace called the person who has been pulling the strings while she was at the hospital and told them not to bother her or her daughters again. In addition, Grace yelled at a nurse before apologizing for the stress she had been experiencing. In a moment alone, Grace hit delete on Liam's medical history as she tried to cover her tracks. Grace stated that she would do anything for Paris and Zoe Buckingham, her sister, in a subsequent phone call. Grace seemed to need Paris's voice because she was so agitated about the apparent threat she was facing. On Monday's B&B episode, Finn opened Liam's file on his laptop after returning to work. Finn realized everything in Liam's medical records had been deleted after his brain bleed. Finn quickly made his way to Grace's office, where he mentioned that he had just checked on Liam. Before asking Grace about the situation, Finn mentioned that the surgery would cost $1 million. Grace displayed nervous expression as Finn insisted he needed answers right away. Ridge Forrester apologized to Brooke Logan in Italy for his rude behavior after she took over as CEO during the takeover. Brooke asked if that was all Ridge came to say before wondering what he really wanted to tell her. After a brief interruption, Brooke was led to their boat adventure by Nick Marone. Eric Forrester called Donna Logan Forrester at the hotel to update her on Nick's engagement ring and the news that he had kissed Brooke. Donna pushed Eric to find Ridge immediately and warn him. Eric informed Ridge that time was running out and informed him of Nick's impending marriage proposal when Ridge returned to the room. The Bold and the Beautiful claim that Ridge will rush to stop Nick, but a disastrous boat ride will cause the situation to take unexpected turns. A threatened Grace leads to a medical. Doctor reveals in the Bold and the Beautiful that Grace Buckingham faces danger. She deleted Liam's medical records after receiving a cryptic phone call. However, you need not be concerned because Detective Finn is on the case and will solve this mystery. To find out what's going on, you have to tune in. Calling Dr. Buckingham. On today's episode, Grace received a phone call from someone who seems to be harassing her and her family. She told this person to leave her and her family alone. She yelled at the intern, April Jameson Belushi, who apologized for barging in after she was so disturbed by the call. Grace offered an apology for her actions. She then deleted Liam's medical records after staring at them for a while. Grace is acting strangely. Who's threatening her? And why is she behaving in this manner? Bill has no regrets yet. In the meantime, Bill is also experiencing regret. He still has nightmares about their argument. However, that ought to haunt him for the remainder of his life. The fact that Bill granted Luna a pardon should also haunt him. Although he has no idea what Lee has in mind, he believes he is safe now that she is dead. Bill is just thankful that Liam and he came to terms for the time being. Liam found out that his father paid $1 million for his medical treatment, which baffled him. But at this point, all he cares about is being alive. Finn went from doctor to detective. Finn went to the Spencer estate to see Liam. He still marvels at Liam's recovery. But he was left with even more questions after his conversation with Bill. This experimental procedure cost the billionaire $1 million, he admitted. Finn wanted to know what happened to the money. Bill only said that he wanted to save his son's life so badly. He let his customer take care of the financing aspect. Meanwhile, Finn had some questions for Grace. After noticing that all of Liam's medical records had been deleted from the system, he returned to the office and surprised her. Finn casually mentioned the $1 million cost of Liam's recovery. He already cares about her. What else will Grace do? Will she be forced to confess what's going on? Grace's moment of full circle. Additionally fascinating is the fact that the Buckinghams have previously wreaked havoc on Liam. It was mentioned that Dr. Reese Buckingham stole Beth from Liam and Hope and made them think she died during labor. They never fully recovered from that awful experience. They believed they had lost her for good. Now, the Buckinghams are messing with Liam's life once again. Talk about a full circle moment. As Grace Buckingham stared at the screen, the glow of Liam Spencer's medical records glared back at her like an accusation, a digital ghost she couldn't ignore. Grace Buckingham's hands shook slightly. The pressure had been building for days, whispers, veiled threats, subtle manipulations, but it all culminated in this moment of irreversible decision. When she got off the phone, she was greeted by a voice she had hoped to never hear from again. It slithered through the line with icy familiarity and warned her that her daughters would suffer the consequences if she didn't comply. She had hissed into the receiver, her voice cracking with maternal desperation, "Leave Paris and Zoe out of this. You will never threaten my girls again. This is over. Can I hear you?" But even as she hung up, her heart pounding in her chest like a war drum, she knew it wasn't over, not by a long shot. The moment of peace that followed was a facade, broken almost immediately when a knock sounded at her office door. One of the newer employees, April Jameson, was a nurse who popped in to ask a routine question about post-op charts. But Grace, still rattled, snapped at her. "Now not," she barked, before quickly softening, offering a stammered apology that April accepted with confusion in her eyes. Grace looked at the folder titled Liam Spencer Neurological Trauma/Experimental Procedure once more while she was alone. She hesitated for a long, agonizing moment as her cursor remained over the delete button. She regarded her oath as a medical profession. She thought of the miracle she had orchestrated, the experimental procedure that saved Liam's life. She also considered the $1 million payout and the shadows behind the scenes, all of whom were connected to her past and her ex-husband Reese Buckingham's legacy of dishonesty and ruin. After Reese's unforgivable theft of baby Beth, she had worked so hard to restore the Buckingham name, but now, once more, it was in jeopardy. And worse, danger. Liam's medical history vanished from the hospital's digital archive as soon as her hand moved with its own will. Grace sagged in her chair as if the deletion had drained her of the last reserve of energy she possessed. She needed something, someone, a tether to something real. She then called Paris using her phone. "Hey baby," she said as soon as her daughter answered, her voice suddenly soft and vulnerable. "I simply desired to hear your voice. I love you so much. You and your sister mean everything to me. I would do anything to safeguard you both." Grace hid the dread behind a smile she knew her daughter couldn't see as Paris responded with concern, sensing that something was wrong. "Sweetie, I'm fine. Just a stressful day at the hospital." Grace felt briefly grounded after the call ended, but not for very long. Because the wheels of discovery were already turning in a different part of the city. John Finnegan had arrived at the Spencer mansion to check on Liam and noticed right away that something wasn't right. Liam's recovery from brain surgery had been nothing short of miraculous, but the details didn't add up. Grace had not mentioned post-operative physical therapy, despite the fact that he had been warned about potential complications.